It is 4:45 p.m. The date is August 12th, 2021. The scorching sun of the Utah desert beats down on the sandstone cliffs of Moab. A police cruiser accelerates, its red and blue lights flashing against the dry landscape. It pulls over a white Ford Transit van that has been swerving dangerously across the double yellow lines. Inside the vehicle, the air is thick with tension. On the passenger side sits a 22-year-old woman. She is small, blonde, and trembling. She is sobbing uncontrollably. Her hands clutch her face, wiping away a stream of endless tears. She's hyperventilating, struggling to catch her breath as the officer approaches the window. In the driver's seat sits her fiancé. He is 23 years old. He is bald, wearing a t-shirt and shorts. And unlike the woman beside him, he is calm. Almost too calm.
Hello there.
He smiles politely at the officer.
Is everything all right, officer?
He cracks a joke.
I guess I must be
He explains,
too well out here.
with a smooth, practiced
Everything
ease,
holding up okay on your end?
that his girlfriend is just a little crazy. Watching this footage now, 4 years later, creates a physical knot in your stomach. Because we have the burden of hindsight. We know something the officers did not.
Maybe he'd still be
We
here.
know that this was not just a lover's quarrel. It was a desperate cry for help that went unanswered. We know that in less than 30 days from this moment, the sobbing woman would be dead, strangled and left alone in the wilderness of Wyoming. And the calm man? He would drive her van home, alone, and pretend she never existed. Welcome to the Anomaly Archive. To understand the nightmare, we must first look at the dream. Gabrielle Venora Petito, known to the world as Gabby, was a radiant spirit. Born in March 1999, she grew up in Blue Point, New York. She was the eldest of 6 siblings, an artistic soul who felt suffocated by the conventional 9-to-5 life. And then there was Brian Laundrie. They met at Bayport Blue Point High School. They reconnected after graduation and started dating in 2019.
Oh wow,
To the outside world, they were the perfect bohemian couple. They shared a love for nature, art, and a minimalist lifestyle. By 2020, they had moved to Florida to live with Brian's parents. They worked low-wage jobs, saving every penny for a singular goal, the van life. They bought a used 2012 Ford Transit Connect. For months, they worked to convert the utility vehicle into a tiny home. They installed wood paneling, a bed, and storage for their hiking gear. It was cozy. It was aesthetic. It was designed to look perfect on an iPhone screen.
And it makes
On July
such a
2nd,
difference.
2021, they set off from New York on a cross-country road trip. Their goal was to visit the great national parks of the West, Great Sand Dunes, Zion, Bryce Canyon, and Grand Teton, before ending in Portland, Oregon, by Halloween. Gabby documented everything. Her Instagram feed became a gallery of sun-drenched canyons, romantic kisses, and healthy granola breakfasts. She used hashtags like van life, nomadic, and couple goals. But social media is a curator of highlights, not a documentary of truth. Living in a space smaller than 60 square feet with another human being, 24/7, is a psychological endurance test. There is no privacy. There is no escape. When tempers flare, you are trapped in a metal box with the source of your anger. As the miles rolled on, the walls of the van began to close in. The heat of the summer intensified, and the dynamic between Gabby and Brian shifted from romantic partners to predator and prey. To the officers on the scene in Moab, The situation appeared complicated but manageable. But there was a critical piece of information that set the tone for everything that followed.
Check wants and warrants.
Just minutes before the stop, a
Yes,
witness
this is
named
an
Christopher
emergency.
had called
I'm on the road
911.
near Moab. I need police immediately.
His report was chillingly
911.
specific.
There's been an accident and I need help out here.
He told
you
the
receiving
dispatcher,
me?
quote, "We drove by and the gentleman was slapping the girl." The dispatcher asked for clarification. He was slapping her? Christopher replied,
Keep slapping it against
"Yes."
the frame.
And then we stopped. They ran up and down the sidewalk. He proceeded to hit her, hopped in the car, and they drove off. He was hitting her. But when the police pulled the van over, the narrative flipped. Brian Laundrie stepped out of the vehicle. He was calm. He was cooperative.
You really
He had scratches on his face and arm.
How it happened.
When asked what happened, he painted a picture of a hysterical
Honestly,
girlfriend and a
officer,
patient
we were
boyfriend
just
trying
loading
to
up the
calm her
van.
down.
Feel free to take a look.
He told the officers, "She just
You can scream all you want.
gets a little worked up
Nobody's
sometimes."
listening.
Then, the cameras turned to Gabby. She was in the back of a police car, drowning in distress. And here's where we see the heartbreaking effects of long-term emotional abuse. Instead of saying, "He hit me," she took the blame.
It's just my OCD.
She
and
told the
long
officers
stress.
she
I
had
can't think straight.
OCD.
I didn't
She
mean to
said
do
she
it. I
was
take
stressed
full
about her blog.
responsibility. Just please
And
listen to me. I shouldn't have said
she
anything. It was my
apologized
fault.
for being
I'm
mean
so
to him.
sorry. Please, you
She
have
was
to believe
fighting
me.
to
He
protect the
didn't do
man
it.
who had just been seen striking her.
Stay back from us.
Psychologists call this reactive abuse. When a victim is pushed to the breaking point and lashes out,
Look what he did to me.
the abuser uses that
I was just
reaction to
defending
claim they are the
myself.
victim. Brian played this role
See the marks
perfectly.
right here?
The police officers,
I didn't
lacking
provoke
training in domestic violence dynamics, made a fatal decision. They determined this was a mental health crisis, not a crime.
Not a crime.
They decided to separate the couple for the night. Brian was driven to a hotel in Moab. The police even helped him find a room. Gabby was left with the van. Imagine that night for her. She is alone in the dark desert. She believes she is the problem. She believes she almost ruined their trip. She is terrified of losing him. The next morning, they reunited. And the van continued north, toward the jagged peaks of the Teton Range. Late August. The air in Wyoming was turning crisp. The couple arrived in Jackson Hole. On August 27th, witnesses at a Tex-Mex restaurant called the Merry Piglets saw the final public crack in the facade. Brian got into an aggressive argument with the restaurant staff over a bill.
You honestly
Witnesses
think I'm gonna
described
pay
him
this?
as angry
Look at it.
and
I'm
intense.
not paying a dime.
Gabby, once again,
I'm so sorry.
was seen
about him. Please
apologizing for
forgive
his behavior. She was crying. She was trying to smooth things over. That was one of the last times anyone saw Gabby Petito alive. The communication with her family, which had been constant, began to disintegrate. On August 25th,
Hello,
Gabby
can you
spoke to
hear
her
me?
mother on FaceTime. They talked about her grandfather.
It's
whom she
absolutely
adored.
beautiful out here.
Everything seemed
I
relatively
wish
normal.
You could be here to see it.
But on August 27th, her mother received a bizarre text message from Gabby's phone. It read, "Can you help Stan? I just keep getting his voicemails and missed calls." Stan was Gabby's grandfather. But here's the chilling detail. Gabby never called him Stan. She always called him Grandpa. Her mother knew, instinctively, that Gabby did not write that message. It was a clumsy attempt by someone else to buy time. On August 30th, one final text came through. No service in Yosemite. This text was strange for two reasons. First, Yosemite National Park is in California, 800 miles away from where they were supposed to be. Second, forensic data later showed that Gabby's phone had been turned off days earlier. Then came September 1st, 2021. In Northport, Florida, the white Ford Transit van pulled into the driveway of the Laundrie family home. Brian Laundrie was behind the wheel. He was alone. He unpacked his gear. He greeted his parents. And then, he went camping with his family. He roasted marshmallows. He slept in his bed.
I guess he just
He did
slept in
not
his
call
bed.
Gabby's parents. He did not tell anyone where she was. For 10 days, as Gabby's body lay decomposing in the Bridger-Teton National Forest, Brian Laundrie lived his life in silence. On September 11th, Gabby's family, frantic and terrified,
Please
officially reported her
I
missing.
need to report a missing person.
He's
When the
gone.
police went to the
We can't
Laundrie
find him
home to ask
anywhere.
questions, they were handed a card for a lawyer. The family refused to speak. But the world was starting to listen. This case struck a nerve that vibrated across the entire internet. It was the first true TikTok manhunt. Millions of people began dissecting Gabby's Instagram posts. They analyzed the songs on her Spotify playlists for hidden messages. They zoomed in on reflections in her sunglasses. The hashtag Gabby Petito received billions of views. While some of this was morbid curiosity, something incredible happened.
What began
The
as
collective
morbid
power of the
curiosity
internet actually
has led
worked.
us here.
Meet the Bethune family. They were travel vloggers known as Red, White, and Bethune.
All right,
On
let's
August
check it out.
27th, they were filming their own travel video in the Spread Creek dispersed camping area in Wyoming. 2 weeks later, on a Sunday night, the mother, Jen, was editing footage. She had heard about the missing girl. She realized they had been in the same area. She scrubbed through the timeline. Frame by frame, 5:58 p.m., 6 p.m., 6:05 p.m. And there it was. On the side of a dirt road, a white Ford Transit van. The back doors were closed. A pair of flip-flops was sitting outside on the ground. Jen Bethune's heart stopped. She zoomed in. The license plate matched. She immediately uploaded the footage to the FBI. Within hours, search teams that had been scouring hundreds of square miles converged on that specific GPS coordinate. The digital crowd had done what traditional investigation could not. They found the needle in the haystack. But tragically, they were too late to save her. On September 19th, 2021, the search came to a devastating end.
This
Just a
is the
short
final
distance from where the
resting place.
Bethune family's camera had captured
All
the
right,
van,
everyone, let's stick to the
investigators
protocol
found
and
human
process the scene
remains.
carefully.
It was Gabby. The coroner determined she had been strangled. She'd been dead for 3 to 4
The evidence
weeks.
suggests they've been lying here, dead
Meanwhile,
for weeks.
Brian Laundrie had vanished into the Carlton Reserve in Florida, a vast, unforgiving landscape of swamps, alligators, and snakes. For weeks, heavy rains kept the area underwater. But on October 20th, as the water receded, investigators found skeletal remains. Dental records confirmed it was Brian. He had died by a self-inflicted gunshot wound. Lying nearby, preserved in a dry bag, was a notebook. The contents of this notebook
We
reveal
found
the
it.
final,
It's the
twisted layer of Brian's manipulation. In his dying words, Brian did not apologize. Instead, he tried to rewrite history. He wrote, and I quote, "I ended her life." Notice the phrasing. He did not write, "I killed her." So, he used the passive phrase, "I ended her life," distancing himself from the violence of the act. He continued, "I thought it was merciful,
The suspect's
that it is
face
what she
evident
wanted.
in the smudged
I
ink around
panicked.
the word merciful.
I was in shock.
The handwriting becomes a rux. The entry described a silence.
He claimed Gabby had
broken
fallen into
only
a
by the
creek and
coldest
injured
water
herself.
I have ever known.
He claimed she was freezing and in extreme pain. He claimed he strangled her out of mercy. Psychologists call this image management. If Gabby was injured, why not drive her to a hospital? Why not call 911? There was no mercy in the Wyoming wilderness that day.
Mercy.
Only control. The discovery of the bodies ended the criminal case. But the legal war was just beginning.
With this ruling,
Gabby's
we
parents,
begin to turn
Joe
our
Petito
grief
and
into
Nicole
action.
Schmidt, turned their grief into action. First, they sued Brian's parents. The core of this lawsuit was a letter found in Brian's possession, labeled "Burn After Reading." In it, Roberta Laundrie offered to help her son dispose of a body. In February 2024,
We'll finalize the paperwork
just
today.
before trial, the families reached a settlement.
Confidentiality applies.
While the terms were confidential,
With these
it
signatures,
marked a
the agreement is
significant
finalized
closure
and
to that
sealed.
chapter of pain. But the bigger battle, the one that affects every citizen, is against the Moab Police Department. The Petito family sued the police for $50 million, arguing that their negligence during the
For the
August
true
12th
cost of their
traffic stop
negligence
directly
wouldn't be
led to
paid in
Gabby's
fines.
death.
It would be paid here.
However, in November 2024, the family was dealt a devastating blow. A Utah judge dismissed the lawsuit. The reason? Governmental immunity.
Pursuant to state law,
The judge ruled that
absolute
under
immunity
state
is
laws,
granted.
the police
This case
department
is
cannot be sued
dismissed.
for the specific mistakes made by its officers in that context. But the fight is not over. As we move through 2025, the Petito family has launched an appeal to the Utah Supreme Court. This case is now about whether police can be held accountable when they fail to protect victims of domestic violence.
Yet the weight is never
The
truly
case of
balanced.
Gabby Petito is a modern tragedy. It exposed the curated lies of social media. It revealed the systemic failures of law enforcement. And it showed us that the most
For
dangerous
law
place
enforcement,
for a woman
the home
is often in the
often
company of the
most
man who claims to love her.
dangerous place. Trick point, being in the company
Now,
of that man.
I turn the
This
investigation over
serves
to
as
you.
the official investigation handover.
Do you believe the Laundrie parents knew Gabby was dead when they went camping with their son? And do you think the Moab police officers should be held personally liable? Let me know your verdict in the comments below. If you want to see us open the file on the disappearance of Mora Murray or the cryptic death of Ray
And the
Rivera,
last name on the list,
make sure to subscribe.
Ray Rivera.
Until next time. Stay observant.